Hey everyone, it's Liz here from the Nail Hub, and I'm back for another amazing nail audit. Today's video was actually based on a submission from our member Jessica. So thank you, Jessica, for submitting this. This is also going to be a wonderful topic for us to all discuss here, and I can't wait to dive in. So let's get into what Jessica sent me. Jessica said, "Hi, for a few weeks my fingers have been on and off a bit sore, only where I circled in the attached picture. I believe it's from being overzealous with the e-file. Haven't worked on those particular areas since. No other fingers or areas have been bothering me. I wanted to see if you agree with my guess or if it may be a possibility of gel allergy. I only use Light Elegance products, Jimmy Gel, buttercreams, glitter gels, and I'm meticulous about not getting gel everywhere and cleaning. If you think this is just overuse of the e-file, do you have any recommendations with the healing process?" Awesome topic. Great questions here. And let's take a look at Jessica's picture that she submitted. So this is the outer sidewall of her left hand, it looks like. And I can see her ring finger, her middle finger, and her pointer finger here. And the area that she has circled are those areas that she mentioned where it's only really sore in those areas of her finger. So let's discuss my personal breakdown of why I think this is happening and what you can do about it to help it heal. But before I do, I wanted to explain a little bit about the nail audit because I'm still getting a few questions as to how to participate in this and what the idea behind the nail audit is. So the nail audit is basically a program where you guys can submit your questions to me with some supporting materials to help me better understand what the issue is. Now, it could be a troubleshooting issue, or it could just be a question like this, or it could be a review of a specific product you want me to look at. Any of those things fall under the category of nail audits, and all you have to do is go to thenailaudit.com. I have a special form you're going to fill out with a bunch of details. There's also places to upload video and photos for me. And the more detailed you are in your description of the issue, the products that you're using, or whatever the case might be, the better it's going to be for me to be able to create a very detailed video response for all of you. Now, nail audits are very cool because you get to have one-on-one consulting advice from me as the person who submitted the nail audit, but we also share it here within this private membership community. So all the members get to learn from your video submission or your request. And this is just a really helpful tool. I'm really enjoying making all of these nail audits. This is really the area of education that I love to dive into, is how do we apply our fundamental knowledge and make our lives easier, better, faster, stronger when it comes to nail care as well as product usage. So thank you, Jessica, for submitting this question because this is a really great topic to go over. This isn't really product specific. It isn't really related to any specific type of troubleshooting issue, if you will. It's kind of more of a conversation that we have to have when it comes to how do we best practice nail care. And similar to what we talked about last week with how do you know when nail prep is done? How do you know what's enough and how do you know what's too much? This is a great follow-up to that. So I'm really excited, Jessica, that you submitted this request. Okay, so let's start with finger soreness. Pain, achiness, soreness, tenderness to the touch, those are usually signs that you're overdoing it from a physical perspective. So whether it be overusing cuticle pushers, cuticle nippers, an e-file, any of those things might be the case. In our finger anatomy, if you remember, and if you haven't watched one of my Gel Nail Fundamentals 2.0 videos, I have a video about nail anatomy, and this is going to really help you guys understand all the different parts of the nail plate as well as the finger. Now, on the sidewall, just like on that cuticle area where we have that proximal nail fold, we have on the sidewall a seal between our nail plate and our finger skin. Now, right underneath that nail plate is our nail bed, the side of our nail bed. And when we get down into that sidewall, we're getting closer to that protected skin, that soft tissue, and where those nerve endings are inside of our finger. Little bits that we use for e-file manicuring are very easy to overdo on the sidewall because we end up accidentally piercing that seal between the nail plate and the sidewall. And we can actually create almost like a micro cut, similar to a paper cut, down deep inside of that sidewall area. And we can separate that skin, which has never really been exposed to the elements before. It's always been attached and sealed there. So when we break that open, now we're going to have it open to air, temperature changes, water, debris. If you accidentally touch something salty or something acidic, that's going to get down in that little wound and it's going to be very sore. And it can also be sore from a tenderness. So instead of it just being a stinging sensation, sometimes it's also tissue tenderness that we can feel when we push on our actual skin. The reason why I don't think this is a nail allergy is nail allergies usually manifest in a very different way. Nail allergies usually start with some type of irritation. It's going to be much more of an itchy, burning sensation, sometimes partnered with redness, maybe little teeny tiny blisters. Those are usually absolute obvious giveaways that you've got some type of contact dermatitis. But the best way to heal this is to leave that area alone. We want to keep it nice and clean, keep it free of debris, keep bacteria out of there. So definitely washing your hands gently with soap and water is going to be great for that. Keeping it moist after it's been cleaned is also going to help. Moist wound healing is something that has really had a lot of research behind it, where we want to provide moisture to our skin so that it can fill up any wounds from the bottom up. And it's really amazing. If you guys want to Google moist wound healing, it's a fascinating subject. There's lots of doctors and scientists who are studying this, but moist skin does better at healing faster than allowing it to scab over. And also, one of the things that will really help, sometimes if you really create a separation between the skin and your nail plate and it's just sore every time you touch anywhere in that area, what I also like to do is take a Band-Aid and wrap it nice and snugly around that skin to kind of compress the skin onto the finger. So what we can do is we can take a Band-Aid. I recommend a shape similar to this, just like a nice rectangular oblong shape. We don't really need this part of the Band-Aid for that wound. This is usually something that absorbs pus or blood or something like that. We don't really need that for this particular type of situation. And I actually recommend putting the adhesive portion on the skin, but you can do it however you prefer. So what I usually do is I put the padded part on top of my actual nail. That way it doesn't kind of ruin my gel polish. And what I do is I put the adhesive part on the bottom of my finger like this. So it's nice and stuck on the bottom of my finger. And then what I'll do, especially if this outer side is sore or maybe I overdid it on this outer sidewall, I will kind of snugly pull on the Band-Aid to create a nice tight seal between my skin and my nail plate. And then I will wrap this all the way around. Now you don't want to cut off your circulation, but you do want it to be nice and snug. And if you have Band-Aids that have a little bit of stretch to them, that works really well. And this will keep it in place, and then I have that padded part on the top. So what it does is it allows your skin a little bit of support for reattaching down in that sidewall. So once you get it clean and get a little bit moist, you can use something like even like an antibiotic, triple antibiotic ointment if you want to, if you're worried about an infection. But in Jessica's picture, it's a very slight, probably micro wound that she has in her sidewall and just some tenderness. And so I have found that actually putting the support on that finger and helping push that skin onto the side of the nail plate really encourages that area to heal faster, because it's not getting kind of pulled and tugged down. It's keeping that skin nice and tight against the sidewall like this, and it's giving it a chance to heal. So Jessica, I hope that really helps you understand better about what this tenderness might be. I really don't think it's a gel nail allergy, especially since you're using something like La Elegance, where it's very unlikely that you're going to be exposing yourself to the type of acrylates that would create an allergic reaction. But even then, it is a good idea to always be on the lookout for that kind of contact dermatitis that shows you that you're reacting something in a specific product line. Now, I wanted to close out this video by just discussing one more overarching type of rule of thumb, if you will, and that is that skin is delicate, nails are delicate, and The old adage, no pain, no gain, has zero to do with nail care. If you guys are experiencing any sort of pain in doing your own nails and you're thinking that somehow that is supposed to be part of achieving a specific result, that's absolutely wrong. We don't want to associate pain with success or with results because nail care does not require pain in order to get professional results. That also goes for clients. If your clients are telling you that they're uncomfortable, if there's something that's burning, hurting, pinching, anything like that, or they're experiencing soreness with their fingers, that is something that you want to be hyper aware of because it isn't normal to have pain associated with nail care. Now, as we learn and as we practice on people, which inevitably is the case as we're getting better at what we do, it is completely normal to accidentally overdo it, whether it's your own nails, someone else's. I have been there. Everyone has been there. This is not something that we are born knowing how to do. And it is something that we are going to make mistakes as we learn how to do it. I also want to just say that it's pretty difficult to do something that is so severe that you're not going to be able to come back from. Usually severe injuries or even severe allergies come from prolonged things, come from things that you're doing regularly over and over and over again. Like a good example is if Jessica did not tune into her body and go, hey, my fingers are sore, I think I'm going to lay off the e-filing. If you were someone that just kept doing it over and over and over again, especially in the same area, that is where you start to get into trouble. So if you guys use the idea that pain should not be associated with nail care as a good rule of thumb, you guys are going to be able to avoid a lot of potential mistakes or a lot of potential injuries that I think can honestly be easily avoided by just being a little bit more aware of what we're doing. And I also want us to normalize the fact that mistakes do and can happen, and that it's a completely normal thing to accidentally overdo it on your own nails or on someone else's as you're getting better at doing this whole entire nail care journey. I myself have absolutely trashed my own nails, shredded my cuticles, cut myself, burned myself, done all kinds of things as I was learning. It is something that kind of we go through those stages, but that experience level is going to help us be better nail care providers, whether it be for ourselves or for someone else, okay? So I just wanted to leave that whole idea in your head that pain is a great thing to understand as far as it not having a place within our nail care journey. And if you are experiencing pain, that's a good sign that you need to take your foot off the gas pedal a little bit with whatever you're doing. Same thing goes for any type of irritation that you might experience from products. If you do a set of nails on yourself or if you do a set of nails on someone else and you or that person are experiencing any type of redness, heat, itchy sensation, burning sensation, skin peeling, flaking, texture changes, anything like that, that is usually where you can say, hey, this is a contact dermatitis reaction. This is something that's an irritation, an allergic reaction. Tenderness, soreness, that kind of stinging sensation, anything like that is usually specifically related to a physical wound. And so as we discussed, you can use those two things to understand maybe what's going on. Jessica, I hope this video has really helped you understand a little bit about maybe what's going on with your particular nails. I really recommend keeping that area clean, but also moist, leaving it alone. Maybe use my bandage technique to help support that skin reattaching to the side of your nail plate. And just understand that you're not doing anything drastically wrong. From your picture, I can tell that you're trying to do a very, very good job with your application and your manicuring. Your skin looks great, your nails look great, so keep up the good work. And I hope that these nail audits and all of the content I'm providing here help you continue in your nail care journey. As always, thank you so much everyone for tuning in, and I will be in touch with another video soon. Bye guys.